Anyway, I had a muted mic. Sorry about that. Just wanted to say welcome on in to another episode of the Lancescurv show. Sorry for that delay and that pause. We have so many bells and whistles around here that we have to keep up on things, and sometimes it can get beside me. But anyway, I was saying that feel free to suggest whatever show topics that you'd like for us to talk about, and we'll talk about it. There's nothing taboo. There's nothing that we won't talk about here. We'll always make sure to cover the topics. I'm just clicking a few buttons here. A couple of things not going through. Don't know why, but that's neither here nor there. Let me see if it's going through. I think it is. Beautiful, beautiful. Right now we're on Rumble, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Yes. So today we're going to speak about being finessed. Are you being finessed and don't have a clue? Lots of times we are. You know, in this world, we come up, and for those of us who are raised to think good of the world, to think that people are basically good, yes, I'm not going to tell you not to be thinking that way. But the bottom line is we have a lot of smiling faces out here of people who pretend to be good, but they're not. And when I say good, it doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean that every single aspect of their lives are perfect, because nobody's perfect, and we are all a work in progress. That's the bottom line. We're all a work in progress. Okay, let me remove this here because this is giving me trouble. So we're going to start out, and I'll let people come in. If they're a little tardy, well, they're going to have to go back and listen to the replay, right? In a world where appearances often deceive, many individuals find themselves finessed out of their resources and finances by people who cunningly appeal to their emotions. These manipulators, often masquerading as romantic interests, use the promise of love, sex, and companionship as tools to extract money and valuables from their unsuspecting victims. While both men and women can fall prey to such scams, it's common for affluent men to be targeted by women who feign interest solely to access their wealth. Similarly, women can also be victimized by men who play on their vulnerabilities, creating a facade of commitment while secretly planning to drain their financial resources. The art of emotional finessing is a sophisticated con that can range from the woman who flirts with a man in a nightclub to get free drinks to elaborate marriage scams where the con artist commits just enough to secure a financial foothold before disappearing with significant assets. These scams are not just limited to face-to-face encounters. Online love scams are becoming increasingly prevalent, where scammers string their victims along for months, building trust and slowly manipulating them into sending money or gifts. These schemes are meticulously crafted, with the scammer often juggling multiple victims simultaneously, each one representing a stream of income that fuels their lavish, deceitful style. Let me just tell you, again, this can be men or women, right? If I speak as though it's mostly women, I'm just focusing on that one aspect of it because men do it too, but I think it's more common with the women that go after the affluent men. Now, on today's show, we're not speaking about the financial scams of fake stocks and fake cryptocurrency and investment scams that are just pyramid schemes. Those are scams also. We're talking about the human to human manipulation of emotions and feelings and how people do like that. And so I have 15 of them I want to read off, and then we'll talk about each one. Number one, the nightclub flirt. A woman flirts with a man at a club, making him believe she's interested. She keeps him buying drinks all night, then leaves with a vague promise of meeting again, never intending to follow through. Now, fellas, this is one that's very common. And, it's that upfront thing, and she's trying to appeal to you, but she has no thought of even seeing you again. She probably has a bunch of guys stringing along. And there's so many women who live like this. They might work, they might have a job, but they're not going to spend their money when they go to the club. Their job is to get you to spend your money. And they figure they can just continue to do this forever and ever until the bottom falls out. And lots of these women just don't have stability because it's such a high to get free money from some man with the promise of something more. And look, right now, look, this is a Tuesday evening. For me, right now, it's 9:07. I know I'm 4 hours ahead of East Coast time. But the bottom line is that it's all over the world, not just in America, all through the Orient, all through Asia, all everywhere. You have this kind of thing going on. As far as a romantic scam. The next one, the online love scam. A scammer builds an online relationship with someone, often over months, slowly earning their trust. Once trust is established, they fabricate an emergency and request money, never to be heard from again after the funds are sent. Isn't that something? And you have people who do that, men too now. Men going after the women, women going after the men. And I will also say, it makes sense, but I didn't really focus on it. In the gay community, you have this thing going on also. And we're going to talk about some other things, aside from the points, because that's big. And I'm going to talk about some things that I found out here in Ghana. Number 3, the sugar baby scheme. A younger person lures an older, affluent individual into a sugar baby arrangement, promising companionship in exchange for financial support, only to vanish once the bank accounts are sufficiently drained. Wow, that's very common. And it's almost right now, I'm not going to say it's accepted, but it's out in the open. The sugar baby knows what her role is, and she will tell the man, listen, this is what, I can be your exclusive sugar baby, right? It doesn't mean exclusivity. It doesn't mean that at all. But he wants to think that. And I heard somebody in Orlando one time when I was driving the bus, we were on a layover. And there's a young lady who's very outspoken that I know, right? And she's always messed with somebody's husband to get money. And she was saying, hey, I can't have it where there's one man, 10 of them. She said she has 10 different guys that she rotates. She doesn't see them all the time. That's a lot of work. Some of them she gives sex. Some of them they're waiting for it. And, she's stringing them along and just getting money for it. I need somebody to pay my light bill, my food bill, my child's school fee, all this stuff. This is what's going on off the record and off the cuff. I often wonder, how are they going to do this when cash is banished, when everything goes digital? How do you pay somebody on a sugar baby level like that? Just any old prostitute. How do you do that? Do you have to buy things of equal value and hand it to them? Or just directly pay something for them? But everything will be seen. That's going to put a dent in a lot of people's hustle when that cashless society comes around. Trust and believe. The next one is the false marriage. A person marries someone for the sole purpose of securing legal access to their wealth. They maintain the charade for a few years, ensuring they can claim assets in a divorce before pulling the plug on the relationship. That takes time. So this must be some kind of big money you're going after in actuality. But it's crazy. That's how they do. Once you're tagged and tabbed as being that one that they can get substantial, probably millions from, and while you're scamming them, you're enjoying the good life. You're eating good, you're living good, you're going shopping, all that stuff. So some who do this may maintain it longer than they anticipated, because once they get the money and run, that's it for them. And I often wonder, what happens when the money runs out? What do they do? There's always another victim. There's always another fool to find to get money from. And that's terrible. Diane, Welcome on in, my dear sister. I'm glad to see you here. The numbers are low tonight, but I know probably tonight there's things that folks have to do, but the show will go on. This may not be a 5-hour show, but we're going to talk about this. This is about consistency, you know? The next one is the gold diggers scam, right? The gold diggers long game of the gold digger. Someone who pretends to fall in love with a wealthy individual, spending years by their side. Once they've gained access to finances, they stage a breakup or divorce, taking with them a substantial portion of the wealth. We see it in the newspapers all the time. We see it in the news all the time. Come on, man. You're 85 years old, and this 25-year-old woman wants to come around you. And you really believe that? And she has nothing and you have all this money? You know? Yes, Diane, anytime. You know that. You know that. Only time I don't come on is if something came up, I might be a little late or something else. Major, kind of major, nothing bad. Sometimes it's just like that with the schedule. But again, this is not gonna be super long. This one came to me early today, and I said, this is something I have to talk about. Because people just think, no, it can't be me. You know, male or female, you can get scammed. I'm not saying you can or anybody who may be listening, the few people that are here, but this is just a reminder that it's out here. And people, it doesn't mean you have to have millions. You can have a regular paycheck. You can have a middle class paycheck, a lower middle class paycheck, a upper middle class or a lower upper. It doesn't matter because people on all levels are looking to get. And some people do not want to work. They're not going to work. They feel entitled that you have to give me this because whatever. And they'll act. It's hard to do something like that. I mean, really, it's not hard to do it, but I mean, just build yourself up and do your own thing. But you're like a leech. You're like a parasite. And you know this, and this is what you're going after. I can pick up on that pretty quick, you know, and no way. Let's go to the next one. The charity case. A scammer convinces their romantic interests that they're in dire financial straits and in need of help. The victim, believing in their relationship, provides funds repeatedly, only to find out later that the need was entirely fabricated. That's what people do. I know guys back from New York, they of the weaker variety. And if you are in a real relationship, you're supposed to do for your woman. I have no problem with that. Everybody's not a gold digger. Treat her nicely, spend money on her. As long as she's ride or dying in your corner, then I see no problem with that. But the problem is we have too many people that portray themselves to be, you know, or put themselves out there to be the special one. And they manipulate you. They take their time, and they're good at this. They're very good at this. And for the older guys out there, they'll stroke your ego, make you feel young again. But the thing is, what is this thing about, oh, make me feel young again? I feel young right now. I don't need any external help to make me feel, you know, these guys taking a TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which is just a lower level grade of steroid, popping these blue pills, Viagra, and the other one, Cialis. And they get in their red sports car. They have the money to do so. And they want a young girl by their side. And they're going to milk them. They're going to milk them. They're going to milk them. Like, I'm with you now, but I don't really want to be with you. I just want that money. And the way the economies of the world are going, you're going to see more and more of this. It's crazy, but true. There are a lot of people who are going to be ASS out with that cashless society and just the way things are going in the world. You know, God forbid we have another lockdown and the way it's going to affect the economy, but they're pushing for that with this Mpox stuff here. So the hustles will be on big time. Here's another one. The inheritance lie. The scammer claims they're about to come into a large inheritance, but need a small loan to expedite the process. Once the money is transferred, they disappear, leaving the victim with nothing but empty promises. Now see, this is the thing. That person who gave them the small loan to expedite the process, did they give it out of the kindness of their heart? Or is it like with any other scam? They try to make you think that you're going to get something for nothing. Like, if I help you now with this, I'm probably going to get something out of this. That's what they're thinking about. And so I'm not saying it serves anybody right, but if you go into it with that kind of mentality, well, you deserve to get caught. Like the guy the other day who walked up to me and had an iPhone 14. I mean, it was real too. I put my internet password to see if it works for good, and it worked. But of course, I took it out, and he was more interested in my phone. I have a Samsung A34. It's not a 54. It's not this big. It's a medium range phone that gets the job done for me because my phone is my office. I do a lot of things on it to distribute videos, to keep up with the comments and different things like that, and just keep up to see how things are going on my channels and different things on the various parts of the platform, even behind the scenes when nobody knows about. So it's a need for me, right? So he showed me the phone. I validated that it was real, really nice phone. But why would this guy be interested in my phone when he has his phone in his hand, which was hot? I knew that. And I was just checking it out. Didn't say anything. He said, "Oh, I'll give you this for 300." Wait a second. 300 CDs? 300 CDs? You know, the rate of exchange is $1 for 15.65. So you take 300 CDs and divide it by 15, just roughly 15, right? So how much is that? That's nothing. That's less than what, $20, $30 or something like that? Nobody gives up an iPhone 14 for that. So he was trying to get me to pay this money, but he said, let's go sit in the car over there and let's negotiate. Well, no, negotiate. There's no negotiating. You already told me the price. You gave me a price that was too good to be true. No, I'm not going to get this anyway. I don't know if it's tracked or, you know, who had it before. No. But it was like, it caught me. It caught me. I ain't going to lie. It caught me. I saw it and it put it in my hand. I was like, whoa, nice heaviness to it, nice clean lines. You know, iPhones, they got that thing going on, but it doesn't have as much freedom as a Droid phone, which that's why I had to leave iPhones alone. Well, he was very persistent and he wanted to get me in that car to the guy. We can negotiate right here, man. I can slip you cash right here. I'm not getting in nobody's car because, first of all, I don't look like a victim, which means what comes at me would be something really powerful, meaning that they ain't going to look to fight me. I'm not the toughest in the world, but I'm not at ease. You're not picking me first out of a crowd. Just put it that way. You know I'm going to fight you back. So it had to be a gun or a knife involved. And to get me in there, take my phone, take my money, and that was the bait. No way. Because he followed me for like a half of a long block. I said, man, no. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's out here, even here. But they'll do mild things like that. They will do stuff like that. But there's no open shootouts and open whatever. Nah. And in broad daylight, you know. Reese, welcome on in. Yeah, I'm glad you heard that story. I think I told it yesterday or the day before. But it can happen, right? You just have to be careful. Here's the next one. The inheritance lie. The scammer claims they're about to come into a large inheritance. Okay, I read that when I scroll down. We go through my notes here. Okay. The fake investor, a scammer, poses as a romantic interest with a business opportunity, convincing their partner to invest. Once the money is handed over, the scammer vanishes. Isn't that common? And the business opportunity is revealed to be a sham. And people fall for this all the time. Well, what is up with these people? Is the intimacy that powerful? Is it that intense to screw your critical thinking up? Me, I can sniff stuff coming a mile away. And in the past, I've been taken, not like any of these things on the list, but little favors, little things, and say, okay, you got me. I realize you got me, but not the big stuff. No way. No way. I'm just too settled. I'm just too wired within myself that if there's anything that I want, I'm going to go out there and get it myself. I'll toil for it, sacrifice for it, focus on it. I'm not looking for any get rich quick schemes that these people fall for. That's what it is. There are things that happen that seem too good to be true, and it's real, but it's not the norm. It's not the norm. Here's the next one. The honeymoon heist. After a whirlwind romance and a quick wedding, the scammer arranges a lavish honeymoon, during which they clean out the bank accounts or valuables of the new spouse before disappearing. Right. You get some regular Joe who basically, and it's not for me to say, I'm just saying this for effect, lives a nondescript life, lives what they call a normal life, which, I always say that there is no normal. There's nothing out here called normal, right? And they're excited. Somebody's interested in them. And they go now and spend all this money. This person wants to marry me. And yeah, well, we got to buy this. We got to buy that. That wedding is going to validate this person in front of their friends who are probably all married. Now I'm not saying marriage is the cure-all. Best to be single to yourself instead of getting caught up in drama with somebody who you weren't supposed to be with. You just want to say that you're married. No, I don't look down on you if you're not married at all. In this world, that's a pretty smart thing to do, unless you really, 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 really know. And for some, it's not even worth all of that, because you still have to be happy within yourself. That's number one. And if most were happy within themselves and balanced within themselves, they wouldn't get swept away in this stuff like the honeymoon heist. Imagine that. And they're planning this big wedding. It's going to cost all this money, and they're going to pay for it. The person who's the victim is going to pay for it. They have to, oh, honey, here, take the card. Here the blank checks. Go ahead and just get what you want. And they clean you out. And that's the worst kind. You done told everybody that you get out to get married. You done showed the person. They met the person. Person might be from a different state. They're there just for that. So all of a sudden, my phone rings. All of a sudden, my phone rings. I was calling a specific person for the longest time, but in the middle of the live, it always happens. And they're gonna do it again, and I'll call them after. They probably don't even answer. But yeah, we don't do it that way. We got to stick on the show. The next one, the luxury lure. A scammer entices a victim by flaunting a luxurious lifestyle, which is actually funded by previous victims. They convince the victim to contribute financially to maintain the facade, only to move on once they exhausted their resources. Ooh, because we were impressed with their lifestyle. Huh? Yeah. They just thought they're going to have the good life. I'm going to contribute to this person because they're going to show me the secrets, or I'm going to get something from them. So that luxury lure, it serves most people right. And that's how most scammers get you. Your own greed is what gets you caught up. The next one, the caregiver con. Someone poses as a loving partner, offering care and companionship to an older or sickly individual. They gradually gain control of the person's finances, siphoning money until there's nothing left. Yeah, they don't hit them hard for everything. They siphon a little here, a little there. And I guess in their mind, it's better than hitting them hard, because they're there with them and they can get that extra they want. And that's how people do too. Like, even when it's not a con, when you have a person around you who's always needy, I need it, they nickel and dime you. There's nothing wrong with giving to the right people who have your best interest, but how do you know? You never know. All I say is that it's high alert in 2024. People have done the scams, rehearsed the scams, lived the scam, and when they come to you with it, mind you, you're not the only one. They could be working on 10 different people, and you don't know. Some in different stages, some in advanced stages where they're ready to go in for the kill. Some they're just starting to talk to win people over. And people will infiltrate your life, even when it's not a proper scam. And I'll talk about that at the end of this list. The social climber. A person infiltrates elite social circles, pretending to be a wealthy, desirable partner. They charm their way into the lives of affluent individuals, exploiting them for financial gain before moving on to the next target. And this is not just about money. Giant gain, I see you in. I just took a look at the chat room. Glad you're here. Yes. This is not just a thing with money, right? This could be anything. Okay. Many people know, and I always joke about myself, I'm the secured credit card of social media exposure. You know, it's a secured credit card. You just got to put down a little money, and it's not about money. Just put down a little money, and the credit card company or issuing bank will match that money. Like, okay, you put down $300, you put down say 500. Well, here is a card for $500 with a $500 limit, but that's your money. The company's not taking a risk, right? So when I say the secured credit card, you'll always be approved by me. But now I don't just let anybody on. You got to really show me. I'm going to vet you because I've had frauds come on before and rip people off, right? So I've had people who come around me because they know that I have connections. Then people say, well, if you have connections, why aren't you bigger than what you are? It's not about being bigger. Remember, I speak in a controversial way down through the years, and many of these people cannot be seen talking to me public. They can't come on the show. I can't come on their shows, but we know each other, and I won't give their names up because people in media and in Hollywood, they're watched closely, and you cannot associate with people who they don't approve of. And I happen to be one of them for the most part. Not that I'm some big threat for anything like that, but I've stepped on a lot of toes, and this is their get back. And it's cool with me because I don't mind living. I don't mean underground. I'm just saying I don't want to be underground no time soon. But the term underground, when you're not part of the open mainstream media, this is where I thrive. So since they took the other channel, this is where I'm going to remain. I'll poke my head up a little bit every now and then, but I'm not seeking this notoriety. I like the daily offerings, and I was just playing around with my drawing pad a little while ago and my pencils and pens and stuff like that to do something unique that everybody can't do, you know, and be that person that probably after I transition, they'll say, oh, this guy, Lancescurv, he was a great guy. Look at all the work he did, whatever have you. I don't have to have my flowers and roses right now. I know they're growing. I know they're there, you know? So in this worldly journey, it's the joy of the process for me. This is why my spirit can't be broken. I'm the one who created all those other videos. I'm going to create more and do better and other things and incorporate. But you have social climbers in social media where they want to get next to you because you have a certain amount of pull. And then from that, they get to know somebody that you know that has more pull, and they climb the ladder. This is what they think. For what? What are they doing? What do they have to offer? You see what I mean? That's the main thing. Because these social media platforms, they're made to be addictive. And this is what people don't understand. They create these things to be addictive. When you see the Facebook on your phone or on your computer screen, and it's this light blue and really, really, really light bluish gray, but then up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a red dot. Uh-oh, somebody responded to me. I get a message back because you're in some group room. You received an email, not an email, but a message on Facebook or whatever. And that's the dopamine hit. So people are on these things who even make videos. Not to get off on a different topic, I wanted to add this in. The people who are monetized, they're not really making as much money now because now YouTube is putting ads on videos of people who are not monetized. So they're getting the advertisement thing going on and getting paid by the companies billions of dollars most often, millions and billions to advertise. And so now we're at the club, or we're getting a ratchet fight or some kind of viral moment and put it up on YouTube. You're going to see the ads right there and they getting over. So it's tougher that way now. People say, oh, I want to go viral. They don't understand what the dynamics may be with that. See, because all videos don't make money. You can have a video that has 10 million hits on it and make absolutely zero because no advertiser may want to put their ads on your video, right? So it's very strict that way. It's not like it used to be. It used to be a little better than that. You know what I mean? But that ride is over. And there are still people making good money from doing consistent work, right? But that shouldn't be the goal. If it is, you have a company, you have a business, and you set up a channel to bring awareness and to be that information sharer or thought leader in that area of expertise that you basically own, where you explain things about what you do, and it goes on working for you forever and ever and ever. It's a wonderful thing. You don't have to put up a billboard anymore. You can have a YouTube channel, right? And bring people into what it is that you offer as a service or to sell something. But too many of us, we just want attention. We want likes. We want to go viral. We want to be famous. Ah, the heck with that. You have your tribe and you enjoy them. Let me go to the next one. The house grab. A scammer convinces their partner to buy property together, only later to manipulate them into signing over ownership. Once the scammer has control, they sell the property and disappear because they weren't interested in the property. They just wanted to get in position. And some people will come into your life and wreck your life up and don't even care. They want to peel away what they can get for themselves. Like a person going to the junkyard, you got a luxury car, but there's an exotic piece on your vehicle that you just can't find. But the junkyard, I mean, it may be a 2-year-old vehicle that you find this piece, from to extract, but you don't care about the vehicle in the junkyard. You just want to take a little piece off to make your life perfect. And that's what they do. The next one is the emergency loan. A scammer invents a crisis, such as a sick relative or legal trouble, and pressures a romantic partner to provide funds urgently. Once the money is handed over, the relationship ends abruptly. And there are variations on that. Some people stay romantically connected. I'm not going to say to 10 different people, but several people. There are men and women who rotate romantic interests all the way up to intimate partners. They could be having sex with all of them. They could be doing up to a certain amount of intimacy, which registers to that person who they're with that, okay, we're close enough. This way we're intimate, whatever. And that opens doors for you. It really does. Opens a lot of doors for you. So I'm not saying those are good doors to walk through. But remember, when you see people with things, you don't know how they got it. You don't know. You really don't. If we can only see, and this is why for me, I'm content with whatever I have. If I want something, strive for it to get it. And like I said, you don't know how people have compromised their integrity, if they even had integrity. Compromise the integrity just to get something. And how do they feel after that, right? The last one, the double life. A scammer leads a double life, juggling multiple romantic partners simultaneously, each unaware of the others. We just said that. They exploit each partner financially, moving on when the deception is about to be uncovered. Yeah. Once it's revealed, they try to get out of there. They get ghost, and they'll ride it for as long as the gravy train can go, right? These romantic finesses are adept at identifying and exploiting the emotional vulnerabilities of their victims. Let me tell you something. They have the gift of discernment. People think it's just churchified, saved and sanctified. I got the gift of discernment. Trust me. Most of these folks out here in the street, they're demonic, right? And they have a strong sense of discernment. They know, just like out in the jungle, certain animals know you don't go over there and mess with that one because he'll rip you apart. They just know. That's what it is. They often present themselves as highly desirable individuals, infiltrating social circles where wealth is abundant. Whether it's in the nightclubs, country clubs, or online dating sites, these scammers know where to find affluent targets. They sure do. They use charm, flattery, and sometimes even fabricated backgrounds to convince their victims that they are the perfect match. The relationship progresses with calculated steps, building trust, creating emotional dependency, and finally making financial demands under the guise of love or commitment. The more skilled finessers will maintain multiple relationships simultaneously, treating each victim as a separate stream of income. They know exactly how much to extract from each person without raising suspicion, often disappearing just before the victim realizes they've been conned. This allows them to move on to the next target, continuously climbing the social ladder and amassing wealth. The ultimate goal for these scammers is not just the money, but also the lifestyle that comes with it. The ability to move within affluent circles, attending exclusive events, and rubbing shoulders with the wealthy and influential. These con artists are predators who view each victim as a means to an end. They'll attend the same high-end events, infiltrate social clubs, and even fake connections to high society to gain access to potential victims. Their tactics are meticulously planned, often involving months or even years of manipulation to achieve their financial goals. What makes these scams particularly insidious is the emotional toll they take on the victims, who are often left not only financially devastated, but also heartbroken and humiliated. Because face it, are you going to tell your friends that you've been had and most of your money taken away? They have to hold this thing in most of the time. And you know, with people who are affluent, they got big egos. They're not going to say that. Hey, Bill, what happened to that Benz truck you had? You're driving a Toyota Corolla now. I'm about to downsize, so I said, what the hell? I'll get rid of it. Nah. You went, you got that vehicle, and people knew how much you loved it and flaunted it. All of a sudden, now you don't have it. You see what I mean? Ego is involved because you're not going to tell for the most part because you're too embarrassed to tell, right? Okay, say for example, the man, and this is not a scam. A man goes to a brothel, and we all know what happens in brothels, and he gets caught by the police. They do a sting. You think he's going to tell his boss on Monday morning that he was in a sting and that's why he was a no-call, no-show at work? He's going to make up some kind of disaster, some kind of emergency, right? So the same thing with his wife. What is he going to say? Well, I was out of town. You didn't tell me you were going out of town. Well, I had a call from a friend. He urgently had to go out of town. And all of a sudden, my cell phone, for some reason, it just didn't want to work. And she said, well, it went straight to voicemail, you know? And the lies keep going on. People don't want to tell when things happen to them, right? It's no good. It's no good. So yeah, one of the best defenses against these predators is to maintain a healthy level of skepticism, especially when it comes to new relationships that seem too good to be true. It's important to take these things slowly, to verify the background and intentions of new romantic interests, and to never let emotions cloud judgment when it comes to financial matters. Surrounding oneself with trusted friends and family who can offer objective advice is also a crucial step in safeguarding against these finessers. In the end, the key to not becoming a victim is to stay informed, vigilant, and cautious. Romantic scammers thrive on their victims being naive and emotionally vulnerable of their targets. But with the right knowledge and awareness, their manipulations can be spotted and thwarted before they have a chance to cause harm. Don't let yourself be finessed. Arm yourself with the knowledge and awareness needed to protect your heart and your wallet. And I'll also say in your bloodstream too. You don't know what these people have. Landon Price, welcome on in, brother. Yes, this is a serious topic. But like I said, I am. For some reason, I'm a little stuffed up for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, the scamming thing, I'll say it this way as an addendum. It's not just romantic stuff with, and we're focusing on the romantic on this particular conversation, right? We're focusing on that. But you have the other scams that are financial based and invest this amount of money. Nothing romantic, no promises of companionship. We'll talk about those another time. I want to focus on the ones that are more romantic, more flirty, more seductive and manipulative, like that, right? But it's not just in or with a man and a woman and a woman and a man. Now you have in the gay community, and like I said, I'm not about that rainbow. I'm all about straight black pride, but there are people of that persuasion who listen to the show and they say, okay, we can understand that you're not supporting this like this, but we want to tell you what's going on. And this has been going on pretty much even before, I can't say before, but there's more to lose, when you're maybe affluent and of that lifestyle quietly away from your colleagues and you get ripped off by somebody. It's terrible. Now, what was it? I think it was Detroit. I'm not sure. I think it was Detroit, either Chicago or Detroit. I'm thinking Detroit, and correct me if I'm wrong if you heard about this. There was a doctor. I mean, he was a high-end doctor that lived, if this is Detroit, I think it's Detroit. I'm quite sure it's Detroit. He lived in Detroit. He didn't go out into the suburbs like he could afford. He lived in Detroit, but it was a revitalized area of affluent homes where he lived. And they were unique because of the person who designed most of those homes. He had a unique way of doing it. And it was that these were mini mansions, going up to mansions. They were affordable and I mean affordable for a mansion, okay? I'm not saying like, wow, I could just drop $50,000 and get one of those. No, not like that. This was a very affluent neighborhood, but what surprised a lot of people, he knew he didn't want to really go all the way out. And I can understand people, he was single, he was by himself, he wasn't married or anything. So he had his own private life. And come to find out, they found him dead in his home. Found out that and this was a white man. This is a white man, probably in his late 40s, maybe early 50s. But the picture of him looked youthful, so it looked to be where he was taking care of himself. But it was a brother. It was a thugged out looking brother. I'm not sure if he had tattoos on his face, but he had the impression of that. He gave off that vibe by the way you saw that he was dressed in the photos that he was in. He got arrested and charged, and he was the one that did it. But look at that. This dude was some street dude, right? And he was milking it from this white business doctor, this white doctor. But I don't understand the connection in the whole gay thing going on. Nobody knew that was his lifestyle. And you know what? That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. All this parading around and flags and all this stuff and all that. No, just we don't even know what anybody doing unless you see them married, their spouse, whatever. Okay, whatever you do, it should be behind closed doors. But this dude, I don't know how he met him. I think it's going to be more parts of the story as it's revealed. I'm going to find out and try to follow the case. But it was like two different worlds. How did that happen? I'm not putting anybody down, but the dude looked like somebody who you get to the red light and he's coming over, with something to clean your windows. I'm sorry. That's the look he had. He just threw off the photo, it just threw off a different vibe. It wasn't some affluent black man that ran in them circles. This was a dude from the street, man. I'm like, how'd this happen? And they've been going at it for months, if not years. That he would come over. Nobody knew this, but they check cell phones, they check emails, they check stuff, whatever. And it had to be what this dude was paying this guy money. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not bringing some street dude. I'm not putting the brother down, but we have brothers who are street dudes. That's a fact of the matter. Don't get up in the comment section. Oh, why you calling a brother street dude? Because we got brothers out here that are street dudes. So if I hurt somebody's feeling, it is what it is. We got brothers who are at the highest of the high and the lowest of the low. And they want to be sugar babies too. And it's we ain't gonna call no grown black man no baby. But they out here hustling too. Let me tell you something. Out here in Ghana, Out here in Ghana, I was walking down the street, watching ladies go by, watching you. No, that's the old song. I was walking down the street, and I'm definitely stuffy. This is not going to be a very long show. But I'm gonna come back with about 3 tomorrow, for real, and some shorts, and I'm just gonna pig out. I'm gonna stay inside and just create. I had to go out today. That took a little bit of time. It was raining and everything, but we're good. But they have a little kiosk, a little stand in the street where, with this thing called mobile money, you can, and I did it today. I handed over so many CDs to the person, and they put it on your account so you can access it through your phone. And that's if you like really don't have a bank account. But if you do have a bank account, it's convenient to have because so many people take payment that way. You go to a restaurant, they say, "Oh, do you have mobile money?" Well, because the credit card system's down. So you can pay through your phone and send a certain amount through certain codes, boom, and they're paid. Way out in the boondocks somewhere down here, you can have mobile money and the person's doing work for you, you can pay them. You don't have to have cash. You don't have to say, well, what about your bank? There's some places out here that's so far out. There ain't no banks. Put it that way, okay? I don't mean in the immediate city. There's one. I'm in the mountains and in the village. There's one up the road, 15 minutes away. But I don't have an account with them, and I want to just in case if I have to go close by and get some cash. I can walk and do it. We take for granted there are certain amenities in the States that we take for granted. Not that you have to have that out here, because most people work and live without it. But the things that you miss, oh, let's call for pizza and order out. You ain't no shoot. Call who for pizza? You better call down in the city. They're going to tell you, oh, we don't deliver up there. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying what it is, you know? So, yeah. So he was staring me down in a way that a man doesn't look at a man. This guy had some serious gaydar just staring. Why? Because you think I'm a handsome young man or whatever? No, I'm a foreigner. I'm probably a tourist and I have a lot of money. And he's going to get that money. See, out here, the economy is so jacked up. I want to talk about something that was revealed to me today. Young lady I know, she's going for a job. And this is the norm. I've heard this before so many times. I've heard this before. I have to go out and do some research because this is phenomenal and you just won't believe it. She has a potential job of becoming a waitress, right? Do you know how much it's going to pay? Number one, they don't tip out here. There's no requirement to do any 10% or 8% or whatever percent, 15%. I don't know. There's no requirement of that. When people finish eating, they get up and leave. Unless you happen to come here and that's in you, because you don't really hear it well. Oh, you don't have to tip in this restaurant. No, we tip, right? But they'll take it. But the bottom line is there's no law to say that you have to tip or there's something built into their pay or whatever have you, so they don't get nothing. Would you know what she was offered for the month to work? 500 CDs a month. Now, at an exchange rate of 15.65, what is that? What is that? You know how much that is a month? $32. You mean $8 a week. And this is what I'm hearing across the board here. It is, so when you come and you bring some American money, whether you want to live here or not permanently, you have a Social Security check or a retirement check, whatever, that is $1 million. So you may not be a millionaire, but you know what? To them, you're a millionaire. This is crazy. I heard the same thing of the people who clean up and work at the mall, like the ones who do security and do maintenance and do this and that. They're not making anything. So by the time your transportation, how are you going to pay for rent or mortgage? Well, there's no mortgage really out here. You build, and that's it. They do have mortgages for the affluent people who want to go on and, they may not be billionaires, but they might be a millionaire and want to pay out some money and they can pay it back. But it's not like America. Hand to mouth most of the time. And so this forces people into wanting to be sugar babies and wanting to scam you. And I don't mean particular scams, but just get some money out of you, like get anything out of you. Oh, could you buy me this? Oh, could you buy me that? Which is not a scam. They're asking you. But could you imagine that little bit amount of money that was revealed to me? And this is why so many people here are very desperate. And the only thing keeping them from going buck wild like they would in America, with this guaranteed minimum wage, which is going up, the prices for everything else have gone up. But this is why when people come from different places and they come to America, whoa. I remember when the minimum wage was like $5, $6 an hour, right? And there were people who were glad to get that. Man, what? And they make it seem like $1 million too. They just happy. I know a young lady who left here and went to Canada. And it was always her goal. And we met her on one of the vans, me and Mrs. SCURV. And she tapped us. She says, I know you are for YouTube. Oh my God. Right? So we kept in contact. And we talk every now and then on Facebook and different things. And she moved to Canada, but there are certain similarities of, when you move somewhere, especially to the West, then you have to prepare yourself. So I think it was Toronto that she's living in. And she's so used to, because she was a mental health professional here, but they weren't really paying that good money. So she moved out there and she's blown away by the amenities and that life. And she eased into a pretty good job, right? And she's living with a family, which not her family, but a family that they're gonna look out for. So she has a room. She's making all right money. She can accumulate. And so I said, well, how do you like it? Oh, I love it. I love it to fullest. She loves to eat. I said, please don't blow up now. She leans to putting on weight. I said, don't get that processed food going, making you crazy. She done tried every type of fast food there was. I said, okay, once you know what it's like, still try to maintain yourself. But anyway, her attitude changed. I said, well, how do you feel about it out there? How do you like it? Oh, I was going to come here to make money to build a nice home in Ghana, but I don't know. I just want to stay here. See, she's getting all the creature comforts and the access to a lot of conveniences that she didn't have out here. Like I said, everything is out here, but it's not all over the place. Like certain areas have certain things, and you have to go to that area. It's not like you can just hop in the car and go 2 miles down the road or 1 mile down the road. And, like you look at any major city, right? And just look at the McDonald's, the Burger King, the fast food joints, the KFC, right? Subway. And any little major hub or busy hub is going to have something to take your money on that level. You don't have that out here like that. But where I live, if you want to go to McDonald's, you better go down to the city. And there's several of them down there too, several KFCs. We should be eating that, so I'm just using that as something that we all know to refer to, right? But there's all kind of amenities out here, different things. The only thing they have a place called the Palace Mall. And I would say that that's on par with Walmart, right? But it's not open 24 hours. So the demand is not there to be open 24 hours. So she's out there like pigging out on amenities. Like, I'm buying this and I'm buying that. I said, listen, what happened to the house in Ghana? I said, I'm not telling you what to do. You're young. She's very young. She's like late 20s, early 30s. I said, listen, set yourself up, because it may come a time where that you may not want to be there, and you tuck some money away and you take your time, and you have enough people out here that you can look out for you as a Ghanaian, right? So she said, yeah, you're right. I said, don't go over there and spend up all your money on fast food and buying trinkets and baubles and rubies and big flat screen TVs, cheap compared to what they pay for it out here, all that stuff. And you have a bunch of things, but you haven't set yourself for life. Because God knows there's a lot of scammers out here, from the largest to the smallest. And you just have to be careful. April, greetings. I'm sitting here running my mouth and didn't even have a chance to say hi to you. Well, I'm going to wrap this down soon because I did a lot of talking today. And my voice is just like, ugh. My voice is just, and that's what happens when I have a whole day where I'm just talking a lot, and then my voice will go. But we got something for that. We ain't gonna make that happen too long. but this is a topic that I will go in deeper on, and just even some recorded uploads that I do. If there's anybody who wants to come in and say anything, there's a link. Feel free. And I will say that either Thursday or Friday. No. I think it's going to be Monday. Listen, I've been out of America so long. What day is Labor Day? Monday, right? Monday. Okay. Tracy J and I are going to do a little presentation. And you know when she gets on, she breaks it down. And then she activates me to go, and we'll Zoom it. And that's going to pull other people in. But we have a topic that we want to speak about the economy. And but because, you know, she leans toward that from her profession. That's all I'll say. And what's happening in the corporate world with money and just positions and people getting fired and stuff like that is terrible. It's really, really terrible. And the money they give it to these immigrants in America, they let them right on in. What do they want to have happen? I was listening to a program up in Chicago, and the young brothers were saying how this particular landlord just gave up all his buildings. It's a whole city block in a black neighborhood, and they got all the black folks out of there. And they put these immigrants in there who have guns and machetes and criminal records and mental health issues, because there was a gang in that block that really, I'm not going to say, oh, it was a good gang. No, but they looked out for the people on the block. They did things themselves, right? And one of the leaders got killed, and it was one of those Venezuelan people who came. You know, not to demonize everybody, but my God. And why are they giving them all this money? Well, they don't have any money for us. No, we don't have no money for you, but we're going to give all this money to these people. Earth Angel, welcome on in, Grand Rising. Yes, indeed. Yeah, makes no sense. The folks need to wake up. The only way is our unity to make it out, because we have a lot of boule who are pushing for whatever their masters tell them to do. And they hate when I talk about them, but it's the truth. The secret handshake boys. They're the coons that run back to massa and sell your interest, you know, where you don't benefit from anything. And they're shapeshifters. They play black. A lot of them have black businesses. A lot of them are black politicians, and they talk black and play black. But when they meet their master with that bag in the middle of the night to hand it over to them so they can put it in their white banks and make money off of your money, off your Jesus money, nobody wants to talk about that. You know, how come you only have certain lawyers that whenever any of us are shot or something happens, that there's only this one? Oh, yeah, Benjamin Crump. Come on, man. What's up with that? Why are you only picking high-profile cases and half the time you losing the bad boy? I don't want you coming to me. You know? No, Reese, it was in Chicago. I almost had the streets. What do they say, 79th and Essex? I don't know it out. I've been out there one time. But it was some major black neighborhood in Chicago. Yeah. And they filled it up with all the immigrants. Well, you know the rent's going to get paid anyway, you know? So it's really, really something. But listen, y'all, tonight I'm going to rest my voice. Tomorrow I'm going to come back same time, 9 p.m. my time in Ghana, 5 p.m. On the East Coast. And I got to soothe my throat a little bit. I had to talk about this one. I'm going to do some recordings and stuff and hit the sack early and just rest up and start early. But when I get up early, many will be sleeping, right? If I get up at 6 a.m., my 6 a.m. is 2 a.m. on the East Coast over there. Some of y'all might still be up. But that's the way it rolls. But yeah, I promise that we will do some long ones this weekend and toward the end of the week, which this week is flying by. Like I said, what happened? Why is August such a fast month? I remember these guys had finished a certain part of the work here in the house on August 2nd, right? But that was a cleanup day. So they did finish in a month what they had to do. I'm like, okay, August is here. Now look at it. Boom. It's going. This is why I like to ride the wave of time. Even though I believe on this level it's engineered and artificial, you know, something's manipulating time to move faster. Yes, I know I'm getting older. It's going to seem like that to me because a minute, or put it this way, a year is 161st of my life. A year when I was 2 years old was half of my life. So it's going to feel as though it's going faster because it's perception. I've experienced so much time. When I'm 100 years old, a week will fly by like half a day. It's all in the perception, you know? Yeah, getting paid to leave the apartment and change the very fabric of the neighborhood and displace black up there, you know. And the people who always told me, I never thought I was right all the time. I never put myself, oh, I'm right, I'm Lancescurv, I'm right. No. But I speak my mind. And when I'm wrong, I'm like, yo, you were right on that. I was wrong, sorry, but that's how I felt. And I don't make decisions based on emotions. I'm a big critical thinker, but I do have emotions and I do have hunches and I do have a discerning spirit. You know, we do have that gut feeling, you know, and lots of times we push that away. But that's your subconscious mind letting you know, listen, this is not to be trusted. And so there are many people now who are like, Lance, man, remember what you were saying years ago? You didn't specifically say this or specifically say that, but man, you were kind of on point. And now that I'm out of America, looking in from the outside, knowing the inside all the years I've been, you know, it's not like I don't know, but it's added an extra layer of perception that I can see it a little better. Like I always say, there's a picture on the wall that's 8 feet wide and 5 feet tall. And everybody is in the background watching it, feet away from it, like 10, 20 feet away. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Oh, the picture's beautiful. Look at it. The colors. Oh, the artist was so great. But you standing there and you have your nose touching the picture. You're the closest to it, but you see less because you're so close. You see how that works? So sometimes we're so close to a situation that we can't see it for what it is. We just have to pull out, pull back a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm here and I'm going to wrap this down. Tomorrow, I'm not going for any less than 2.5, 3 hours tomorrow. So for sure. I like them long. This is like a warm-up for me. It's just that my voice is not going to keep up, and I know that. And you know, I'm human like anybody else. You know, but yeah, that was a brief little rundown about the finessing game and the scams and the shams. And even if it's not for money to run off with your bank account, these people want to get something out of you. And I don't mean everybody, but just there's too much of that going on. Just be vigilant, be cautious, be aware, and make sure that, you know, whoever's around you is authentic and you're not coming around. And I'm going to tackle this topic again, maybe on the financial investment side of things, you know, because there are people who are aggressive with this stuff and they won't let up until you give your money up. And that's what we got to stop doing. Make our money count for something. Save it to, I don't mean just save it forever, because inflation is going to eat it up, but use it for something tangible, an asset. So if everything crashes, you have assets. That's the bottom line, whatever it may be, you know? So anyway, much love to you all. I'm going to cut out right now. And tomorrow and the subsequent days, we'll talk more and more. We definitely will do that, all right? Much love to you all. Lancescurv out. On to the next one. Like, share, and subscribe as always.
To the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, might get you canceled. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Tryna rule the block but don't know what goes on it. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn 95 degrees and I can't get sunburn. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earn that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. In the days coming down the seconds on the timer. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war